Okay, so now that we have that basic knowledge of the different things that I mentioned, now we can kind of dive into how this actually relates on a human level. I did write some things down in my books because I can get a bit excited and off subject. Now, the point is to intentionally raise your vibration and be aware of what you put in your mind, body, and what's in your environment. So these are the key things. We need to sun gaze, which neuroscientists have literally came out and said never has this caused anyone to go blind. Okay. Now remember the birds. Okay, from the last video. So sun gazing and spending time outside in our environment is number one. Number two is meditation. Number three is energy training. Now, number four is high vibrational foods, and number five is releasing all that doesn't serve you. Okay. Now, we can heal a lot within our body and our mind with natural herbalism. It's just a fact, and we can dive deeper into that in other videos. I've done a lot of research on that as well. Now, the key to cleansing negativity in our cells is to utilize the chemicals that our brain produces. So we bring in the vibration to our cells. We do. We bring the vibration in, and then it's then dispersed accordingly. Okay. So a thought is a combination of vibrations, and every thought forms a chemical reaction within our body. Now, every thought form and every emotion behind it is literally a chemical reaction to what our parents taught us. It's vibrations that have been passed down from generation to generation, and disassociation from emotions. There is a vibration to every word we speak and thought we have. It's a chemical that's projected from our bodies. Now, okay, again, the hypothalamus will put together amino acids. It's a molecular structure with a very specific vibration behind it. When they come together to create a specific chemical in our brain, and releases that brain chemical to the cells in our body, and they're only very specific cells, so that's good. It's easier to pinpoint. Now, our brain chemicals are our ego. It's a separate aspect of who we are, down to the core. We are atoms, pure light, and energy. Cells will only accept very specific emotions, okay? Now, we are entangling with the chemicals of our cells, our parents' cells that were passed down to us, and the cells of the people in our environment. Now, quantum tunneling is a small photon or proton, and it has to be small. Now, the photons coming down from the sun are quantum tunneling through the atmosphere. The photons from our brain chemicals are quantum tunneling from our body into our environment, and we entangle with these. So our environment is key. The people around us and where we live is so important. Now, the more cortisol receptors we have, the more we attract those types of situations. Now, remember, the cortisol is the stress chemical, okay? And relationships, because they are at the same cortisol vibration. That's how we can tell what's going on in our body on a cellular level. It's a reflection. Now, the third eye awakening is a realization that we are responsible for our own reality. We are not victims, okay? Now, the amino acids from the brain chemical will enter into the cell. They combine with the messenger RNA that comes from the DNA, and the DNA is a blueprint that tells the body how to arrange all of the amino acids to create even more cells in the body. Now, those amino acids from our brain chemicals will enter into the cell, combined with the ribosome with messenger RNA, and they get constructed into specific proteins. And then this is how the rest of the cells in our body get created based on the vibration, even to our own vocal cords. So when people speak, they are speaking from the vibration of the cells in their body. And thoughts gain momentum. So when we first realize that fear, shame, or guilt, the stress, right? What we can do is we can pivot it back into a happy little wave. Start soothing ourselves. Now, we also have, can have compassion for others and make peace with our situation. So, again, exercise, sweat, get it out somehow, okay? And think positive thoughts, eat high vibrational foods, visualize your reality, what you do want, not what you don't want, and line that brain chemical up with that specific reality that you're trying to achieve, okay? Now, on a quantum level, we all create our own realities, and what we don't like about a situation or behavior we find in our environment is a reflection of what's going on in our cells, in our body. It's a holographic reflection, guys. Now, we all exude photons or light from our bodies. This light is an image of the cells in our body at a molecular level. So if we see negativity in our environment, it means the receptors on our cells are only absorbing shame, guilt, or fear. Now, this is a great thing to recognize, though, because it gives us a beautiful opportunity to intentionally raise our vibration and pivot the particles back into waves, back into positive, happy thoughts, back into positive, happy chemicals that we are producing in our brains. Now, it's a symbol of hope. It's the symbol of hope. Now, start utilizing your brain chemicals. Now that we have not only identified the negativity and what we don't want, but also the source, we can focus on what we do want and who we really are. We can be kind to ourselves and literally every single person in the world, because no matter what they did, it's actually a reflection of ourselves. And it's ourselves that need to explore why the cells in our body are projecting that into our reality, and then heal those cells so that we can take intentional steps to put more love and waves into our cells, and only send your receptors love-based energy and chemicals from your brain. And it's key, guys. Like, this is the key. Change ourselves on a cellular level, okay? And we will change our reality.